for that. Well, I'll just say that UK Column News today is encouraging people to think that groups within society are being played. Let's go back to the UK Columns report 2015 and have a look at what we were talking about. So in those days, we were allowed to quote Russia Today. It came from Russia Today, but the information was correct. The headline was Degrade, Deceive, Discredit, Psychologist condemned for aiding GCHQ manipulation techniques. Struggling over that one, apologies. And this was the depth of it. We had a psychologist, Mandeep Dharmi. Psychologists work for GCHQ Deception Unit Inflames debate amongst the peers. And a little bit of information on it is that what was this all about? Well, the words tell us discredit, promote distrust, dissuade, deceive, disrupt, delay, deny, denigrate, degrade and deter. So these are not terms to bring people together. These are terms to split people. Initially, we were told this was techniques to be used on our potential enemies or enemies. But of course, what then became apparent is the very same techniques were going to be used on domestic groups that the government didn't like. So UK Column warning people that this was going to happen back in 2015. And GCHQ apparently said the agency is aware of the responsibility comes with the nature of its work. And in addition to the legal accountability, we also take ethical considerations surrounding our mission seriously. Alex, I'm just going to give you 10 seconds, but when I read that paragraph now, I want to cringe and I want to laugh because I can't take this statement seriously.
Thousands of people working at GCHQ in my day in the 2000s did take it seriously. Not all of them were naive, but I wasn't aware then of the deceit that goes on at the level of legal advice and the parliamentary and cabinet office hobnobbing that goes on there. In particular, I think of one jumped up lad of my age wanting promotion, who, when all this stuff was happening in the mid-2000s, called it shaping the environment, admitted that it wasn't intelligence, knew that it had no statutory footing at all, and said it's illegal, but we're going to do it because it's exciting and it will probably be retrospectively legalized.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, if we put a bit of meat on the bones in our reports back in 2015, this is some of the stuff we covered. So here's GCHQ, the art of deception. There was more to it. I'll let you freeze the screen so that you could have a look at this one's called Gambits for Deception. But we've also got The Guardian here in 2015. British Army creates team of Facebook warriors. And this, of course, was highlighting what was coming with 77 Brigade. And of course, 77 Brigade boasted that it was going to be supporting the government in surveilling the population during COVID. This is a little bit of historical track record. Report with The Guardian, recruited by MI5. The name's Mussolini. Documents reveal the Italian dictator got a start in politics in 1917 with the help of a £100 weekly wage from MI15. I think we'll talk about this a bit more in extra time, but the point I'm making is, can we trust our own government? And it appears historically and in the present time, no, we can't. Here's another article that we reported about a summit at a discrete location. And we've got big names. So we've got Apple and Google meeting with former CIA and also GCHQ personnel. Of course, no minutes of the meetings. We've got to simply trust these people. They've got their best interests at heart for us. We go on. We had the government clamp down on free speech in Leveson. And at the time, we highlighted in Mr. Leveson's work that an email from myself had turned up in the trial bundle in reference to a case involving the former head of Scottish law, Eilish Angelini, and I asked if that was hacking. And of course, if we think back, UK Column's also given a lot of detailed comment about warnings by the Chief Constable of Devon and Cornwall in this place, where he said it's fatal to let the Secret Service into the area of ordinary crime. So we've got fully qualified people desperately worried at the encroaching power of the state and secret services. Again, I'm going to let you freeze the screen on this, but here we're also warning about the UK government's involvement in torture in Guantanamo Bay. and elsewhere around the world. But we, the population, are told to trust our government. And if I just bring in this one, this is the web around David Cameron at the time when we had child abuse exposure coming in UK, but it was very clear that far from working to bring the child abusers to account, it appeared the government under David Cameron was almost working to close this down. So in the little diagram there, you can see some of the links. But remember that MI5 was in the sidelines and had also taken steps to make sure that no bad reports had come out about child abuse. But the point we made back in August 2015 is that David Cameron was responsible for the UK intelligence machinery as a whole. And where does that take us? We warned very clearly with a cartoon, of course, who the domestic terrorists were. But look at what we said. The media would be gagged. There would be secret courts. The NHS would be wrecked. The military would be betrayed. The paedophiles would be protected. The police threatened. Genocide overseas and banking fraud. And the key issue with Mr. Pickles on the right was that he was claiming big society was for our benefit. And we said, no, that's not true. This is increased state control. Where does that take us to, Alex?